tomorrow. Wow, 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 tomorrow. I feel like I look like a fucking ghost. I feel like I look like I've been edited by the people that edit K-pop idol pictures, i.e. I've been whitewashed. I'm not actually British, hello. I know the accent was like very convincing. A long video, here we go. I'm like, I want to make 30-minute videos. And then I go to record them and I'm like, oh my God, I'm losing my mind. BTS, arguably the most popular boy band of all time. Inarguably the most popular artist in K-pop. Shattered glass ceilings, popularizing and not only introducing K-pop, but Korea to a lot of the world. They are arguably directly tied to the reason why K-pop is now becoming more and more mainstream every day. If there was no BTS, would there be any K-pop categories in the VMAs? Would there be other artists being able to get nominated for Grammys? Would I be hearing New Jeans being played in American Mall? Would you see K-pop groups performing at the AMAs and on the Kelly Clarkson show? Maybe, maybe not, who knows? But it is definitely certain that BTS is definitely a part of the reason why K-pop is so globally popular and successful currently. It seems like 2017 and 2018 is when BTS started to make their mark in the American music industry with songs like DNA, Fake Love, and Mic Drop, with performances at the Billboard Music Awards and the AMAs. But those songs did not have such a ironclad grip on the American music industry like these two songs plus another one that I'm going to be talking about today.
Here now with an original, never-before-seen performance of Butter, the #1 song on the Billboard Hot 100 chart for the last 7 weeks. It's BTS!
Their new single broke streaming records on Spotify and YouTube. Now performing Butter, global superstars, BTS.
With Dynamite, their first #1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100, here is BTS!
Here they are performing their Grammy-nominated hit song, Dynamite.
They performed both of these songs at the fucking Grammys. What the fuck? Dynamite and Butter fucking exploded. Even if you don't know a single thing about K-pop, you can't name a single K-pop idol, group, or song, you have heard of Butter and Dynamite. Whether walking through a Target or a Walmart or scrolling on TikTok or Twitter, these songs have followed you like a stalker in the night. Dynamite was a disco pop song dropped on August 21st, 2020 to immediate success, debuting with 7.78 million streams, which made it the biggest opening for a song in 2020. It gave them their first Grammy nomination, making them the first Korean act to be nominated for a fucking Grammy. History. It debuted at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, which meant that Dynamite was BTS's first #1 single in the US, and made BTS the first all-Southern Korean act to top the Billboard Hot 100. It also peaked #1 on Global 200, like globally. Like the song was doing very well. The song sold 265,000 downloads in its first week, marking the biggest pure sales since 2017. It stayed on the Billboard chart for 3 weeks. On Spotify, it had the biggest opening day for a song in 2020. Now for Butter. Butter garnered 32.3 million streams in its first week. It debuted at #1 on the Hot 100 and was at the top of the Hot 100 for 10 non-consecutive weeks. That's a lot of fucking weeks. Obviously, both of these songs were record-breaking and showed how successful K-pop can be. And obviously, as an ARMY, I was incredibly happy that they were reaching levels of success that I think and a lot of ARMY think they always deserved. But at the same time,
I wanna shooting in America's.
Can we just go back to the fact that Butter and Dynamite were not only performed at the Grammys, but nominated for a fucking Grammy? Nominated for a fucking Grammy. Now, obviously, music is subjective. If I go to a person on the street and ask them, do you think Harry Styles and the latest album that he came out with should have been nominated for a Grammy and deserve to win? Some people will say yes, some people will say no. But I feel like if I ask a lot of ARMYs what songs should have been, or what songs do they think would be nominated for a Grammy, should be nominated for a Grammy and win, Dynamite, Butter, and Permission to Dance are, no one's gonna respond with that. I can list so many fucking songs that represent BTS and their lyricism and their storytelling, vocally, everything. Like, there's so many more songs. I also know that, like, yeah, like a song from 10 years ago can't be nominated for a Grammy now, but like, also, like, this shit is made up by a bunch of like old white people, so like it doesn't matter. And also, Tyla has been nominated for Best New Artist for like, what, 2 years now? She's not fucking new anymore. So once again, all this shit is made up. As an army, when you think of BTS, what comes to mind, you know? I think of how the group has never been shy of talking about a lot of mental health issues, societal pressures that people face, obviously not exclusive to, but especially growing up in Korea, the beautiful lyricism that they have, the amazing raps that they have, the fact that they all write the shit themselves. I think of themes and storytelling that they do very, very well. And when I say that, all three of these songs, Permission to Dance, Butter, and Dynamite, from now I'm just gonna say the songs, because saying that over and over and over again, I feel like these songs do not showcase BTS's identity well and are outliers of their discography. And I feel like when we think of songs that are nominated for Grammys and albums that are nominated for Grammys, which what I'm about to say, like, obviously there are cases where like this is not true, but for the most part, the songs and albums that are nominated are showing the artist's identity, and like subjectively their best work gets nominated. Now, once again, I know that that's not true for every single artist, but that's what I think of when a song or a body of work gets nominated for a Grammy. And like I said before, there are so many other songs that showcase BTS's identity and what they stand for. And I also want to clarify, while we're still early into this video, because I don't want to get doxxed, and I also want to make sure that my opinion is coming across well, and the reason why I'm making this video is coming across correctly. My beef and problem is not with
BTS
themselves. Megan's verse on Butter, I know that shit by heart, gun to my head, I'm fucking good. Like, you'll see that BTS really had nothing to do with those songs besides just performing them, because they do not have a single writing or producing credit on Dynamite and Permission to Dance. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I looked it up and this is what I found. I don't want to attack the songs. I hate the fact that the K-pop commentary community on YouTube is mostly just people loud and mean and like making fun of these idols. Like, there are videos that are like top 10 ugliest idols, or like top 10 idols that like gained weight, like shit like that, or people like talking about songs and just like shitting on them. I don't want to do that. My gripe is more with the Western industry and the songwriters and the lyrics that were given to BTS, and the fact that a lot of people that don't know K-pop think this is what BTS is. I want this to be more of a critique than me just shitting on music, because as somebody who makes music is very identity based, and I don't want to ever attack someone. I don't ever want to attack someone's art that they do. Okay, cool. Going back to the fact that Dynamite and Permission to Dance, BTS have no writing or producing credits on it. The only constant I'm seeing on here is P-Dog. If you look at literally almost any BTS song, there is at least one member of the rap line that has writing credits on it. Sometimes they produce, but it's writing credits. That's also something I think of when I think of BTS. The fact that they write their own shit. Very good songwriting. That is a part of BTS's identity to me. As of February 2024, RM has over 200 songwriting credits. Yoongi has 169 and J-Hope has 139. And that's a lot, especially in the K-pop industry, which we know at this point in K-pop, you don't really write your own shit. And I think this perfectly goes into westernization and losing your identity. I'm not saying that BTS lost their identity, which, you know, I was rewatching BTS, the video when they were taking a break, like when they first announced it. And literally, this is why I also feel kind of comfortable speaking on this, because the shit that I'm saying, the members have said. The members in that video, RM was like, I didn't know what to write about anymore. I didn't know the direction we were going in. And in the beginning, when I first saw what he said, because he was talking about after Butter, after Permission to Dance, he didn't know what direction BTS was going in and who they were. I took it as because of those songs, he felt that way, but it could also just be after those songs, they didn't know what to do. And I'll speak more to Dynamite because it backs up my point and I want to sound correct. But like previously said, not a single member of BTS wrote Permission to Dance, and Dynamite. And even if I wasn't a rapper, there are a lot of people who aren't rappers who think that these songs have some of the worst lyrics, if not the worst lyrics that BTS has ever uttered, rapped, sung, or spoken. And that's not an attack on them. Don't dox me, right? Because they didn't write the fucking lyric. And we're gonna get into the lyrics later. Don't worry. Don't worry. But the fact that this blew up in the West and globally in general, I think whatever Americans in the American music industry, the prejudice and the assumptions that they have on K-pop and what they think K-pop is and sounds like, Dynamite, Butter, and Permission to Dance really fit into that. I've talked to people that aren't into K-pop. They know nothing about it. But the first things that non-K-pop fans always say to me is, oh my God, they're treated like slaves over there, right? Like they don't write their own shit. It's like super soulless and stuff. Idea that a lot of Americans have on K-pop. And then also I feel like a lot of Americans think that K-pop is the lyrics are very simple and they're not really talking about nothing and they're just like dancing, da-da-da-da-da. That fits into the ideals and the assumptions that I feel like a lot of the American music industry has on K-pop. So once again, I don't want to knock or shit on these songs, but the lyrics are so fucking simple that I feel like the American music industry was like, yeah, this is K-pop. Play it every single day, every radio station, play it everywhere. Like it was more accepted. And also the fact that these songs were fully in English, right? Because America is so fucking stupid. We can only listen to songs if it's in English. Obviously, as an artist, it's fine to try new things. Definitely try new things. Get out of your comfort zone. That sometimes makes for the best shit to ever be released by musicians. This is a different genre that they haven't done before. Once again, correct me if I'm wrong, but this disco pop, every song doesn't have to be this like long, deep conversation about the systematic oppression of Black people and women in the workforce and sexism and like what Aegyo really represents and like some Shakespeare type beat shit. That doesn't have to be every single song that BTS comes out with. My problem is that the fact that these songs blew up so much, and this is what BTS is known for to a lot of the public that aren't K-pop fans. It's not even the fact that they're not talking about systematic oppression and Bepse and growing up in Korea and what they face in society. It's the fact that the lyrics written for them are so simple and like poorly written. Also, I don't know jack shit about audio engineering, but D'Angelo Wallace actually made a video discussing literally what I'm discussing. And he was talking about how a lot of people, particularly people who know more about like audio engineering and stuff, said Permission to Dance was mastered really like not well. I can't speak on that, but I'm just adding that there for you guys.
I think it has a lot to do with just the really weird way their vocals have been processed and then slathered in auto-tune for some reason, despite them being really amazing singers.
Permission to Dance. BTS only has credits on vocals. Everything else, audio engineer, production, mixing, mastering, and songwriting is not by BTS. To me, just feels like these songwriters are coming in and trying to, for lack of a better term, kind of dumb it down for the American music industry, which to me takes away what BTS is best known for. BTS has also made songs about topics that aren't that deep and can be very surface level. For example, like self-love, while still having very well crafted and written lyrics while keeping a very nice theme throughout the entire time, and the song sounds great. For example, So Idol was sung in Korean and English, and once again, while this topic isn't super deep, it's still talking about not conforming and self-love. The song is super upbeat, like Dynamite, like Butter, like Permission to Dance. Dynamite, Butter, and Permission to Dance are also self-love, up-tempo songs. And me and a lot of other armies don't take this song as the lyrics being like cheesy or cringe or whatever. Cause guess who the fuck was a part of the songwriting team, nigga? It's RM. I wonder if there's correlation. The songs that BTS writes are good when they're a part of writing, and when they don't write it, they're not that good. It's almost like BTS is their fucking job and this is what they do and they're very good at it. It's also because on this track, they're working with people that know them, right? RM was not the one and only writer on this song. There were other writers and producers. P-Dog and Supreme Boy being two of them. P-Dog and Supreme Boy have literally been working with BTS since No More Dream, their debut song. Me talking about Stray Kids and BTS versus finding a random person on the street, them talking about BTS and Stray Kids, what they say is gonna hit a ceiling. I know more about K-pop. I've been listening to these groups for years, so I can speak more on what they represent and the themes that they have because I am more familiar with them. I feel like if people that have really actually worked with them and knew BTS's themes and what they represented, then on these songs, Dynamite, Butter, and Permission to Dance, I feel like the lyrics would have been crafted better. I don't know how much research, i.e. just looking up songs by BTS, was done by the songwriters, but it doesn't seem like much was done. Also, like, I don't know the creative direction that was being told by the songwriters and what BTS wanted. There's so much shit that I don't know because I wasn't in the room where it happened. So once again, take everything with a grain of salt that I'm saying, but these are just my opinions. My opinion! I was looking up the songwriters that worked on Permission to Dance and Dynamite, and up until this point, when these songs came out and nothing else, these were the only shits that these songwriters wrote for them. But because of that, like, I just don't think that these songs represented BTS in the slightest. So I actually got into BTS after Dynamite and Butter. I got into BTS fully. I became a stan. I became an ARMY in 2022. Like Jin. The only songs I knew by BTS were Fire and Dope. But this is how I thought BTS sounded. I said this when I made a video talking about my favorite BTS songs, but because of Butter and because of Dynamite, I thought the type of music BTS made was not the actual representation of these songs that they actually made, which is why I wrongly and constantly dismissed them and their music up until 2022 when I was like, okay, let me get into them. Which is why I was so shocked when I heard Dark and Wild, which was why I was so shocked when I heard a lot of these songs, because the representation that I had of BTS up until this point were 3 songs where the lyrics were cup of milk, let's rock and roll, what the fuck? And after going through BTS's discography, which I'm still currently going through, it is intriguingly and confusingly insane how these 3 songs blew the fuck up. More Butter and Dynamite blew up globally and might be the most popular BTS songs globally. Oh my god. When these songs are an outlier of their entire discography. BTS's discography, I would say 85% of it is rap, hip hop, and R&B, while there are obviously other genres that they've tried out. Not saying that they haven't made any pop before, because they definitely have. But because of everything I just said about the lyrics and blah, blah, and stuff, this isn't a good representation of BTS to me. If you are not into K-pop and you don't know anything about BTS besides these 3 songs and you stumbled across this video, allow me to expand your mind. Allow me to put a little Doctor Strange and go like boof and your body fucking do. Here are some songs that I recommend that showcase the amazing songwriting, rapping, and themes talking about mental health and struggles and pressure that young adults faced growing up from the world. Obviously, those songs were made when BTS was younger and also growing up. And oh no, you might have to get the translator out so you can fully understand the depth to these BTS songs. Oh no, another language besides English. Fucking hate Americans. I also just want to preface this by saying I'm not Korean. I've never been to Korea. I am a foreigner, American foreigner. Boo, boo, tomatoes, tomatoes. I'm a foreigner on the outside looking in. And while yes, societal pressures and depression and stuff like that and pressure from parents and all that stuff is not exclusive to Korea, it is definitely heightened in Korea. BTS is obviously coming from the point of view of Koreans who have lived in Korea all their life that are culturally Korean. I every day am watching more videos talking about Korean culture, and this is what I have gathered from the outside looking in, but a lot of the pressure that Koreans face can be way more intense than the pressure that like Americans face. For example, school in Korea, if you don't get a 95, you fucking failed. Like, you failed, bro. Bitch, I was happy to get a fucking 65 in math. Like, let's be for real. And I just want to say, if you are Korean and I am speaking out of turn and what I'm saying is incorrect, please feel free to correct me. Period, next sentence. From what I've seen culturally in Korea pushes you to work super hard with no breaks and no balance until you collapse. So as an American, a lot of these nuances I'm not going to be able to explain fully. And for that, there is a channel called DKDKTV that I love, that I will link below, that explains a lot of these BTS songs from the point of view of a Korean. And RM touched on this. I brought it up in the video that I made about K-pop idols getting younger, which they were always young, but or debuting younger, but they've always been young. But an American interviewer was basically kind of like trying to make K-pop come off as like super evil, and RM clocked him. RM was like, of course you wouldn't get it, you fucking colonizer. Like, all you fucking colonizers do is fucking take. But he was basically like, from an outside point looking in, coming from America or other places that what's America's identity? Stealing? Like, be fucking for real. A lot of Americans, especially colonizers, are not going to like fully understand why Korea is the way it is. Like, Korea, like, I was watching a video and like it was like Korea doesn't really have resources. Korea doesn't really have oil. Like, Korea is such a small place, and the fact that they have industrialized so fucking quickly, when like the war that they had, they were recovering from very fucking recently. The fact that they industrialized so quickly was a miracle within itself, but the reason why it happened so quickly was because they're working and breaking their fucking backs constantly with no fucking breaks. So I also just wanted to say that. And once again, I'm not Korean, I'm a foreigner, woo! So please correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, let's get into the songs I would recommend. First, we're starting with Silver Spoon, Bipsy. A criticism of class disparity, the pressure to succeed, and societal expectations that the youth face. Black Swan. One of my favorite BTS songs of all time. This might be top 2, and it used to be number 1 until I heard No More Dream. BTS losing their passion for music. They made a fucking banger about losing their passion for music. That's fucking crazy. Fake Love. In RM's words, we're saying that if you're not true to yourself, your love won't last forever. I.e.,
you can't love yourself? How in the hell you gonna love somebody else?
This talks about how toxic love can be when you're willing to change and hide yourself. Trying to erase myself and make me your doll is one of the lyrics in this song, which is why you'll understand why I'm so upset that songwriters made BTS say, cup of milk, let's rock and roll. Jesus Christ. Spine breaker. There's a Korean idiom, sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong, 등 걸기 휘다? Meaning the back/spine gets bent because you fucking work so much. BTS is saying the kids who beg their parents for these really expensive trendy items are spine breakers, and the items themselves can also be called spine breakers. The only reason why I know this is from DKDKTV. I will once again link in the channel below. Danger. This is from BTS's best album in my opinion. I really like this song because while technically it's a love song, and there are so many goddamn motherfucking love songs in the K-pop industry, and just in general, there's other things besides dating, guys, by the way. I just want you to know that. It's more of a song about unrequited love and how psychotic that unrequited love can make you. 134340. 134340 is what Pluto got reclassified as when it was no longer considered a planet but became a dwarf planet. Aw, boohoo. Referring to themselves as Pluto and the lover or ex-lover that they're singing about as the sun. How Pluto and themselves have become nameless and unimportant while their life still seems to revolve around the sun, like Pluto or this person being the sun. This website here does such a beautiful job of explaining it, so I will also link it down below. Go and click on that. So these are obviously just a small handful of BTS songs that I'm recommending to you, but they showcase just the amazing lyricism that BTS has and the fact that BTS makes fucking bangers, nigga. I'll leave it to armies to give more song recommendations to you guys. I really sit here at 3 a.m. and ponder why these songs did so well and took over not only America, but the fucking world. And once again, they're not bad songs, but why these songs did so well specifically in America. Because, and RM and BTS said this, they were kind of moving more towards focusing on America and the American music industry. This might sound like a dumb thing to say, but I don't fully think the reason why these songs did so well was because they were in English. Because there are people that are so fucking anal about lyrics being really, really good. And there are a lot of artists right now that are getting absolutely fucking flamed and clowned for coming out with the most basic shitty lyrics in existence. So lines like hot like summer, yeah, I'm making you sweat like that, or cup of milk, let's rock and roll, King Kong kick the drum, rolling on like a rolling stone, sing song when I'm walking home, jump to the top, LeBron, ding dong, call me on my phone, iced tea, and a game of ping pong. Now, obviously, songs are subjective. I already don't, and not only in music, but just in general, people are so fucking comfortable to criticize shit that they could not do. Coming from somebody who, I guess I still am a wrestling fan, coming from somebody who watches wrestling, it really be the niggas that cannot even do a role that are talking the most shit on Twitter being like, oh, this, they fucked up this and they fucked up that. Do a roll, nigga. Do one push-up. Like, shut up. Like, niggas feel so comfortable talking about shit when they're sitting on a couch. Like, you can't fucking do any of this shit. Like, shut up. So I already don't even feel that comfortable being like, this song is good, this song is bad. I'd rather just say a song is not for me. And especially when talking about music from people that have done it for so fucking long, like BTS, who've been a group for at least 10 years now. Your songs and your music is literally your identity and a part of your identity, especially when you're writing it yourself, because it comes from you. It's poetry. I went to the store, I bought me a hat, rat-a-tat-tat. Knowing the amazing lyricism that comes from BTS, specifically the rap line of BTS, both in English and Korean, the lyrics being given to them are just not good. Objectively not good. Take out BTS, replace this with anyone else. Nigga, if Megan came on the track and was rapping like this, she would get crucified. Any other fucking person would get fucking crucified. Especially if they were a Western artist and they, were fluent in English. I feel like they'd get crucified even more. But I feel like, and this sounds really fucked because there's racism and everything, and this might be a reach, I don't fucking know. But I feel like a lot of non-K-pop fans who know nothing about K-pop, they hear fucking stick to the jump top LeBron. They're like, oh, well, it's like K-pop. Like, they can have, like, lyrics in English that are questionable because they're not fluent. Like, I feel like this is what people think that aren't into K-pop. Hello, Editing Dylan here. I also want to add that Megan would get crucified because she is known for her lyricism and held to a certain standard. If somebody was making a kid song, you hold that to a certain standard. So if the lyrics were meh, nobody would get upset because it's a kid song. But for some reason, K-pop isn't really held to a higher standard from people on the outside looking in. It's not really taken seriously. I've heard K-pop be dismissed so many times, and a part of it definitely comes from the fact that if a lot of teenage girls like something, then it is dismissed and not taken as something serious with depth or sincerity or intelligence. But obviously also it has to do with prejudice and ignorance and racism. I just don't understand why K-pop isn't taken seriously and it's always brushed off. It's just very interesting how when you're in a boy band, you're not taken seriously. Like, if you listen to August D, Yoongi, Suga, whatever the fuck you want to call him, he, to me, is on the same level, and on top of that, higher than a lot of rappers in the Western music industry. If you listen to August D and then you hear these lyrics, you're like, this is not up to standard for Yoongi and what he says, and just BTS in general and what they say. And I'm just so sad that this is what a lot of people know BTS for. Like, this is what I thought BTS was, and I was wrong. This is wrong. Dynamite. I know that Dynamite or Butter, whichever the fuck won, and Permission to Dance came out during the fucking era of COVID, and this was just a song to, you know, lift everybody's moods up. Period, next sentence. The song can still be good, songwriters. But on the topic of dumbing it down, America likes comfortability. Comfortability, I said it correctly. Americans, especially white Americans, don't ever want to feel threatened, confused, or uncomfortable. And unfortunately, just the sheer fact that the American music industry is like scarily, uncomfortably in the grips of older white men. Like, and a lot of which who are shockingly out of touch. Unfortunately, for the music industry, it's not about the music. I feel like a lot of shit that's coming out now, we're seeing that the music industry is one of the most shisty, treacherous industries in the fucking world, and it never is about just music and making good music to these companies. Does this foreigner match the most of the time ignorant assumption and prejudice that I have? And if it does match it, then I'm gonna accept it. What makes America comfortable? The most basic, simple English lyrics do. The amount of flack, questioning, judgment, ignorance, and straight up racism you receive when you say that you listen to K-pop is insane, because at its core, simply, TLDR, to make a long fucking story short, it's just music in another language. Why is there so much judgment about this shit? Once again, I really hate making negative videos, and I don't think I do. Like, I don't think I'm sitting here being like, fucking top 10 ugliest fucking K-pop idols. Like, when I'm speaking, I really try and do constructive criticism, and a lot of the topics I talk about are not really about music. It's more about fans and, you know, cultural appropriation and stuff like that, more of the deeper issues in the K-pop industry. And I also hope that it's clear that I'm not really even talking about BTS. I'm talking about the Western music industry, the songwriters that wrote for them. And when I did talk about BTS in this video, I was uplifting them and talking about their amazing lyricism and production and shit like that. BTS at times has been described as controversial because they have really spoken out against a lot of the normalized ideals in Korea that are super damaging to people in Korea's society, and how BTS makes amazing songs about such like deep things that a lot of people try and shy away from. And especially in the K-pop industry, where everything is so monitored and can be kind of inauthentic and acting, and this is the personality you're given, and like maybe not as extreme as that sometimes, but it's very, this is a job and you're acting this way. For BTS to be so genuine, and that's what they represent to me, genuineness, and then to have these 3 songs blow up, I just don't, it's like such an outlier for them. Please comment below any opinions you have on these songs or just in general. I hope that my channel has fostered K-pop stans that actually know how to share their opinions, differentiating from each other without doxing people and telling people to go kill themselves. I really look forward to your guys' comments, especially when I'm talking about unpopular opinions or a lot of shit that isn't said a lot, because a lot of different opinions are drowned out in the K-pop community with K-pop stans. If it's not like, oh my God, my king, I love you so much, you're so perfect and amazing, and if it's anything else other than that, if it's like a critique, or maybe you didn't like the song that much, or maybe you didn't like blah blah blah, you get silenced through intimidation, bullying, your address being doxed and trending on Twitter. So I hope we can have a really good discussion in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think this video is going to be long, which is great. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Slay! Yeah!